back. In this unit, we're going to learn how to factor by graphing. I want you to be comfortable with this program I use called Desmos, and that's where we will graph our quadratic functions. And I'm going to use the concept of roots. When you factor by graphing, draw this table every time. It says roots, opposite, and factor. I know roots looks a little funny. Roots can be called x-intercepts, zeros, and solutions as well. So I write Red Sox right here, all right? So if you draw this chart, let's go ahead and get into our first example. In the last video, I showed you factor by grouping, so I'm going to use the same problems to show you that your answers were correct. So when I use Desmos, I put in x squared minus 2x minus 8, and it gave me back this graph of a parabola. It crossed the x-axis twice at -2 and at 4. Those are called your roots. So I write those in the first column, -2, and I write 4. Next, in the second column, I flip the signs of the -2 to make it +2, and I flip the sign of +4 to -4. So I take that factor value of the +2 and I place an x in front of it, and that's how I get my first factor of x plus 2. And I take the second factor value of -4 and put an x in front, and I get x minus 4. So our factors are parentheses x plus 2 times x minus 4. Let's look at the second example. This one gives a little bit of a challenge, but you can still get it done. As we see, our roots for 2x squared minus 7x plus 3 equal to 0 are 0.5 and 3. 0.5 we convert to a fraction of 1/2. It's positive, so in the opposite column we write -1/2. 3 is positive, so in the opposite we write -3. Now I'm going to explain x minus 3 first, because this one we just did and it's rather easy. We put an x in front of the -3 and it works out. However, if I were to just put x minus 1/2, that would not work. So you wonder where this 2 comes from. This 2 is from the bottom of this fraction, and I slide it to the front. So I get 2x minus 1. So my factors are 2x minus 1 times x minus 3. Go over to IG at C's Math, and I'll show you this written out completely.